Today you are going to learn a simple natural medicine that you can make to treat constipation in a grid down situation. So if you or a loved one end up eating too many MREs and now you're all backed up and you just can't run down to the pharmacy, this video might be an answer for you. And this video is just one video in a whole playlist that I am doing on how natural medicines can be made in a grid down emergency situation. And while I'm using trees and plants that's here on my property, many of these trees and plants you can find in your own backyard. And these videos in this playlist are going to be quick, just step-by-step directions on how they're made. Not a bunch of fluff. And I'm going to consume on video every natural medicine that I make so that you can see that they didn't kill me. And this playlist is going to cover a whole bunch of different natural medicines that can be made in an emergency situation. Everything from cough medicine to headache medicine, being able to treat diarrhea, constipation, and even a natural antiseptic that can be made to treat skin cuts and infections. So be sure to click on the playlist that's going to be at the end of this video so you catch many more videos just like this. Now let's get on with it. So today we are going to learn how to make a natural medicine to treat constipation by using the seeds, not the leaves, but the seeds of the broad-leaved plantain plant. I mean, let's face it, in a grid down situation, you will almost certainly get constipated. Between a change in your diet, working out in the sun, probably not drinking as much water as you normally do, you will almost certainly get constipated. But first, let's find out exactly why broadleaf plantain seeds are so good for constipation. First, these seeds are psyllium, which means they are high in fiber, and fiber is always good for constipation. And then they also have a high solutable fiber content, which means that they form a gel-like substance, making it easier to have a bowel movement. And then the seeds can also make your stool softer, again, making it easier for you to go. So now, since we know why broadleaf plantain seeds are so good for constipation, let's get to making this medicine. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick these seeds that have turned brown and that are mature. I don't want these fresh green seeds. I want these seeds that have started to turn brown and started to turn colors. And now all I'm going to do is just rinse these off real fast just to remove any dirt or debris out of them. And now I'm just going to place these in this drying basket that's specifically made for drying herbs, and I'll leave them in here for a week, and when I close the curtains there won't be any sunlight, but this will be a well ventilated area with a little sunlight where these can dry out on their own. We're always on the verge of World War III. We've got supply chain issues. We've got shortages of prescription drugs. So to remain medically prepared, not only do I make my own natural medicines, but I also choose Jace Medical to provide me with an emergency stash of life-saving medicines that natural medicines sometimes just can't take care of. With Jace Medical, not only can you get an emergency supply of antibiotics, but you can also get a year's supply of your other life-saving medications that you may be on. Whether it's your cholesterol medication, or your diabetes medication, or anxiety meds, etc. All these medications get shipped straight to your door. So click the link below and enter the discount code of ETHICAL to receive $10 off. Now let's get back to the video. So now, since these have had a week to dry out, now I'm going to remove them from this herb drying rack. And now, since I can feel that they're good and dry after they've had a week to sit in the herb drying rack, now I am going to strip the seeds from the stem into this mason jar, just like this. Very easy. Again, I'm just going to take my fingers on each side of the stem and just pull it straight down so the seeds fall down into the mason jar. Now, since I know that these plantain seeds are good and dry, and since I've got them in this mason jar, now I can put this lid on it and keep this airtight, and these should store in this jar for up to a year if they're kept in a cool, dry place. So if this were a grid down situation and sometime over the next year, maybe in the middle of winter time, if I found that somebody in my group had severe constipation, I could break this out to help them out. Okay, let's talk about dosage now. If I were constipated, I'm not, but if I were, I would chew 1 teaspoon of this and wash it down with plenty of water. Now, if I was severely constipated, like pretty bad, I would do 2 teaspoons instead of just the 1, and again, chew these seeds up real good and then wash it down with a lot of water. Now, since I'm not constipated, I'm going to do just about a half a teaspoon because I don't want to have the opposite effect and later be having the some severe problems. So I'm going to try just about a half a teaspoon. They don't have a bad taste, nothing that's repulsive, and I think that's because they're mostly dried out. And again, if I were constipated, I would drink plenty of water when I ate those so that it would aid in their laxative effect. And actually, in some of my research on this, it said to be kind of careful with these, don't overdo it because you can go from constipated to explosive diarrhea if you eat too many of these. So something that I took away from my research is that if you are constipated, that you start off with 1 teaspoon and then slowly work your way up from there until you do have your bowel movement. That way you don't end up with the explosive diarrhea or the tummy tornadoes. Hey folks, I am not giving medical advice in this video. I'm only showing what I would do in an emergency grid down situation. So if you try anything that you see in these videos, you're doing it at your own risk. So if you like this video where I quickly showed you step by step how to make this natural medicine, then comment down below with other elements that you would like to see natural medicines made for. Because I'm going to be doing plenty more of these types of videos. And to see more videos on how to make natural medicines for different ailments, then click on the playlist that should be appearing on the screen just about now. And this playlist is going to be growing as I film more of these videos. Anyways, folks, this is enough internet for me today. I do need to get back to work. And folks, if you made it this far, hey, thank you very much for watching. And I pray that you have a good night.